History of India by Rutledge. Dr. Garg's professional career spans over 4 decades and covers various prestigious national and international institutions such as the Indian Institute of Research in Numismatic Studies, Nasik, where he was from 1885 to 88, the National Archives of India, 88 to 24, SARC Cultural Center, Colombo, 2011 to 14, Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Astana, which is Kazakhstan, from 2018 to 21. He has also served as the officer on special duty at the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav Secretariat under Ministry of Culture, Government of India. And with that, I now hand over to Dr. Garg. Change the...
మీ దాంట్లో కూడా చూడండి ఛార్జింగ్ లేదు మీ దాంట్లో
ఏదండి
మీ దాంట్లో ఛార్జింగ్ లేదా
ఛార్జింగ్ లేదండి 13% అయింది.
Good evening, and at the outset let me apologize for my hoarse voice that you will have to endure for another 45-50 minutes or so. It's okay. Well, the central message that I wish to place before you today is the general plea, more specifically addressed to the art historians, that let us not forget these tiny pieces of history called coins, for they bear some of the most striking artistic features and cultural symbols ever created. In their miniature form, they carry the grandeur of civilizations and the enduring majesty of the elephant itself. Numismatics, or the study of coins, is an important source of art history, together with other sources like paintings and sculptures. In the next hour or so, I shall present an overview of the elephant motifs in the numismatic art of South Asia and discuss its artistic and symbolic importance in a historical context. If we leave out the prehistoric evidence such as those of the rock paintings or petroglyphs, then the earliest portraiture of elephant can be found on some of the steatite seals from the Indus Valley. The coins of South Asia came into use around 7th century BCE, and these are the punch mark coins issued by 16 Mahajanapadas that have been mentioned in the Buddhist text Anugrutta Nikaya. These Mahajanapadas, or the great kingdoms and republics, flourished in India between 7th century and 4th century BCE and covered a vast tract of land spanning from modern-day Afghanistan to Bihar. Some of these Mahajanapadas issued coins that provide us some of the earliest examples of portraiture of elephant. One such Mahajanapada was Asmaka Janpada, located around the Godavari Valley and with its capital at Patan in modern-day Maharashtra. Another important Mahajanapada was Magad, with its capital originally at Rajgriha, modern Rajgir, and then at Patliputra, Patna. This Janpada later grew into the Mauryan Empire. The coins of Magadha Janpada usually have 5 distinct symbols, which include an elephant. A parallel series of coins that circulated along with the punchmark coins were the copper coins produced by casting techniques. Like the punchmark coins, these coins too are without any legend or inscription, but many of these depict the mighty elephants. Towards the end of the Mauryan Empire, a number of local kingdoms and principalities emerged across India, some of which adopted the punching technique to mint their coins. These coins had limited circulation and was generally used to meet the local commercial transactions. One such coin type depicting the sole symbol, that of an elephant, is found in the Vidarbha region. Your area, sir. These punch-marked type coins are uniface and made are from outside India, and the earliest of whom, Strabo, 64 BCE to 24 CE, was born about 2.5 centuries later. But then we have got coins, supposedly the only contemporary visual account of the famous Battle of Hellespont, fought between Alexander and the king Porus of Pururava kingdom. Porus fought Alexander the Great in the Battle of Hellespont river, which is identified with River Jhelum, in 326 BCE at the site of modern-day Mong in Sudhanoti district in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. In all Western accounts, Porus is declared defeated. For example, this woodcut on the other side from the 16th century, which is part of the work of German cartographer and cosmographer Sebastian Munster, is devoted to conquest of India by Alexander and shows an elephant carrying a group of dead or wounded Indian soldiers. Another 19th century engraving on this side shows a young Alexander with his famous steed Bucephalus and Porus standing majestically with his elephant. Luckily, we do have a near contemporary visual evidence of the Battle of Hellespont in the form of large commemorative medallions struck by Alexander's general and successor Ptolemy. On one such medal, one side shows a rider on a galloping horse. There. Chasing a retreating elephant on which two riders can be seen. The long lance of the horse rider seems to have pierced the back of the pillion rider. Yeah. On the elephant, who is looking back at his attacker, while the elephant driver or Mahavat is trying to ward off. Yeah. The horse rider with a small spear. He is seen grasping another spear and a goad in his another hand. On other side of this medallion shows a Greek soldier with helmet and in full battle dress, holding a thunderbolt in his extended right hand and a long lance in his left. He is identified with Alexander himself on the basis of the thunderbolt, a symbol of his divine father Zeus. A small figure, Nike, it's not very clear on this specimen, but here you can see. A small figure of Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, can be seen flying from the left and crowning Alexander with the laurels. Another commemorative medallion is sort of a continuation of the previous one. On one side, it shows a retreating elephant with two riders. Here, the pillion rider can be seen holding a streamer on a pole, resembling a flag, and his head is turned rearwards, as though being pursued by an invisible foe. The man seated on the neck of the elephant wears a high turban and holds a goad or ankusha. The other side shows a quadriga driving fast towards the right, a driver and an archer standing in the light chariot construction. The archer is shooting to the right at an invisible enemy. A short tunic and an Indian-style dhoti, shown shooting an arrow to the right. The enormous bow rests on the ground. In the field behind his legs is the ligature monogram BA. Which is interpreted by some as the initials of the mint Babylon and by other as the initials of Alexander, Basilios Alexandros, or the King Alexander. Quite noticeable here is the size of the bow. Curtis, one of the Alexander's historians, recorded that the bows as long as the archers, with their foot rested on the ground, were used by the Indian battle of the Hellespont. And we have got an example from the Bhaja caves, where you can see a long bow with one end resting on the ground. The other side of this coin has an Asian elephant to the right. The execution of this elephant sometimes looks very clumsy, as if the die cutter was not familiar with the anatomy of this kind of beast. Ptolemy I Soter, or the Ptolemy the Savior, was the Macedonian journal historian and the successor of Alexander the Great. After Alexander's death in 323 BCE, he ruled Egypt first as satrap of the Greek kings from 323 to 305 BCE, and later as a king from 305 to 283 BCE. And he laid the foundation of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt. The first coin on the above shows portrait of Alexander the Great wearing a helmet of the elephant scalp, which symbolized his divine kingship and conquest of Asia, thus linking him to both the Greek heroic and the Egyptian pharaohic traditions. It represented the mastery over the exotic East and the taming of chaos, an image later echoed in Hellenistic and imperial art, where rulers adopted animal head dresses to signify dominance and divine favor. The motif fuses military triumph, divine sanction, and cross-cultural kingship, making it one of antiquity's most sophisticated visual metaphors. The reverse shows the figure of Athena with the name Alexander in Greek. The second coin is that of Ptolemy issued as a king. It shows his portrait on the obverse and a charioteer holding thunderbolt and reins driving a quadriga of elephant. It seems that the Asian elephants had deeply impacted the psyche of the Greeks. And though Alexander could never return to his homeland, the legacy of the Asian elephants did. For example, the coins of Alexander's successor, Seleucus Nicator, who went on to found the eponymous Seleucid Empire, depict on one side the portrait of Zeus, and on the other side, Athena riding a quadriga of elephants. Even the coins of the famous Roman king Julius Caesar also depict an elephant trampling a snake. A symbolic triumph of good over evil. This was the first coin issued in Caesar's name. It was minted after his invasion of Italy and crossing of the Rubicon on 10 January 49 BCE. An estimated 22.5 million pieces were minted, making this coin the third most minted one in the Republican era. Among Alexander's successors in the East, Demetrius first was able to establish his rule over Bactria, modern-day Afghanistan, and ruled from 200 to 190 BCE. He was succeeded by a number of kings known as the Greco-Bactrian kings. On his coin, he is shown wearing the elephant scalp headdress in the same fashion as found on the coins bearing the portrait of Alexander that we have just seen, issued by Ptolemy of Egypt. Here too, the elephant scalp is used as a trophy, an apparent allusion to the conquest of territories in India accomplished by these kings, as we shall see in a few later examples. On some other coins of this ruler, we find the head of elephant wearing bell around its neck, a very, very Indian symbol in that sense. The Indo-Greek ruler Apollodotus, in Indian text, Buddhist text, he is referred to as Apaladatta. So he ruled the western and southern parts of the Indo-Greek kingdom, stretching from Takshila in Punjab to Sindh. The bilingual coins of this ruler, bearing legends in Greek and Kharoshthi scripts, prominently depict an elephant on one side and bull on the other. Another Indo-Greek ruler, Antiochus Nikephoros, Antiochus the Victorious, shows Zeus seated on the throne and an Asian elephant besides him. On the first coin that you see here, the head and front legs of the Asian elephants are seen here. In which he is saluting Zeus, who is seated on a throne and holding a scepter in one hand and Nike with a wreath in his outstretched hand. The second coin shows a caparisoned Asian elephant standing behind the throne of the Zeus, who is holding a scepter in his left hand and Nike with a wreath on his right hand. And the third one shows enthroned Zeus holding a scepter in his right hand, palm branch and wreath in his left, and a tiny elephant here. Placed vertically in the left field. On yet another coin of Antiochus, Zeus is showing standing, facing, and behind him is an Asian elephant standing slightly raised right foot and a raised trunk, as if on the move. The coins of another Indo-Greek ruler, Lysias Anectus, or the Lysias the Invincible, shows him wearing elephant scalp as headgear, as we have seen earlier in the case of Demetrius and Alexander. Another coin of this king bears a full portrait of an elephant on the move. The Indo-Scythians, also known as the Shakas, were a nomadic group of Iranian origin who migrated from Central Asia into the northwestern Indian subcontinent. Pushed southward by the Yuezhi in the 2nd century BCE, they established various kingdoms across modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India, profoundly shaping the region's political and cultural landscape until the 4th century CE. King Moaz, also called Moa in Gandhari and Moga in Kharoshthi, is the earliest recorded Indo-Scythian king ruler in the Indian subcontinent. Some of his coins show the same imagery of a prominent elephant head with a bell around his neck, as we have seen in the coins of the Greco-Bactrian king Demetrius. On some other coins of King Moaz shows a solitary figures of a marching elephant within a frame on one side and a seated king on the other, while on some other coin the figure of the king is replaced by a humped bull. Another Indo-Scythian king, Aziz I, also followed the elephant bull coin type of his predecessor Moaz, and the same type was followed by Aziz's successor, Azilises. Here, unfortunately, this is very clumsy. Again, you can blame it on the die cutter, that he was not very familiar with the anatomy of the animal. This is very interesting. Two other types of coins of Indo-Scythian king Azilises are outstanding both in iconography and symbolism. On some of these very rare copper coins, goddess Lakshmi is depicted seated on an elephant here. You can see the three elephants. On the middle one, this female figure is seated, identified with Lakshmi, and flanked by two elephants on the either side. Only two pieces of these types are known till date. One is in the British Museum, and another came up in an auction in 2022 and was bought by a private collector. So it's very, very extremely rare coin. The imagery of goddess Lakshmi is also seen on some extremely rare silver coins of King Azilises. Here the deity is standing facing on lotus with two lotuses on either side, upon which stands an elephant spraying water from its trunk. This aspect, like most other aspects of Lakshmi, is representative of prosperity, good luck, and abundance. These coins depicting the Gajabhishek Lakshmi are of considerable iconographic interest as well. We once again encounter the elephant bull coin typology on some copper coins of the last Indo-Scythian kings, Aziz II. The variation in effigy of the animal indicate die variety, of which I have shown only 3 here. This in turn vouches for the high turnout of these coins, making them extremely popular currency of their times. Mahashatrap Rajavula was an influential Indo-Scythian ruler of northern Kshatrap dynasty who governed the Mathura and eastern Punjab regions around 10 to 25 CE. On some of his rare copper coins, the depiction of Gajabhishek Lakshmi can be seen, but the most crude form, if you can identify this figure as elephant with a raised trunk here and this female figure as a Lakshmi. But the imagery has been taken from the previous coins of Azilises. About the beginning of the last quarter of the 1st century CE, the northern India came under the sway of the Kushanas. A powerful king of the Kushan dynasty was Huvishka, son of Kanishka, the founder of the Kushana rule in India. Huvishka was born in Peshawar, and after succeeding his father, he moved his capital southwards from Peshawar to Mathura. On many coins of Huvishka, both in gold as well as in silver, the king is depicted in a diademed and crowned profile, riding a comparatively very small-sized elephant, probably to show his prowess and larger-than-life persona. He is holding a trident, which is a symbol of divine power linked to Shiva, and an elephant goad, symbolizing control over strength. This imagery emphasizes the king's ability to command both worldly power and spiritual authority. Pushkalavati, or the Lotus City, was the ancient capital of Gandhara Kingdom. Located in modern-day Charsadda in Pakistan, it was founded by Pushkala, son of Bharat, and is mentioned in the Ramayana. On these anonymous copper coins, a majestic elephant is prominently depicted on one side, while the other shows either a galloping horse or a lion. Takshila near Rawalpindi was another prominent city of the Gandhara kingdom and has functioned as a sister city of Pushkalavati. It was founded by another son of Bharat named Taksha. The coins of this city are also anonymous copper coins on which elephants are prominently displayed. This is interesting, like his elephant is paying some tribute to what is identified as a stupa. On an extremely rare coin of Takshila, we see elephant in a very unusual perspective, facing to the viewers. Can you make out from here? So this is the head, and this is the body, and this is the trunk you can see here. Suktimati was the ancient capital of the Chedi kingdom. It features prominently in the Mahabharata and is identified with a place located on the banks of eponymous river near Rewa in Bundelkhand region of modern-day Madhya Pradesh. Certain large cast copper coins from this city depict a beautiful trumpeting elephant on one side and horse on the other, with Brahmi legend on the top. A unique type of uninscribed copper coin found in the Narmada Valley that is datable to the 1st century BCE. On this coin, an elephant can be seen marching on the river bank, and you can see the fish, a tortoise can be seen in the river. This is a very curious one. A unique type of uninscribed copper coin found in the Narmada Valley that is datable to around 300 to 200 BCE. A unique representation of an elephant can be seen, which looks like a mixture of crocodile and an elephant. So the front part, you can see the trunk and the head of the elephant, and the rear part looks like that of a makar, or maybe a fish, I don't know. But again, this is associated with the Gajendra Moksha legend, where a elephant was attacked by a crocodile, and then he was rescued by Lord Vishnu. Bhadravati is identified with Bhandak in Chandrapur district, your district, sir, of Mahabharata, and is presently known by its ancient name. The coins of this city-state are made of copper and display an elephant on one side and tree with the broad leaves and Brahmi legend Bhadavatiya. Some of the most unusual depictions of elephants of Indian coins come from Vidarbha. The Bhadra or Mitra dynasty was a regional independent ruling house that governed the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra in the post-Mauryan times, around 2nd century to 1st century BCE. The rulers with the names ending Bhadra or Mitra of this dynasty are known primarily through localized copper coins that typically features obverse designs with a humped bull, river, fish, or an elephant. Look at the elephant on this coin. Hyperactively jumping, bursting with energy, trunk and tail uplifted with a plethora of symbols around Triskalis, Nandipada, arrow standard above, and fish below. Kaushambi was the capital of the Vats Mahajanapada. It was a massive trade hub, and as one of the post-Mauryan city-state, it issued its own distinctive cast coins of bronze and copper, on which figure of elephant was prominently depicted. The Yaudhes were an ancient Indian warrior confederation or Ganasangha, or a republic, that thrived from 200 BCE to 400 CE, controlling regions of modern-day Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan. Their coins generally depict a six-headed Kartikeya on one side and goddess Devsena on the other. However, on some early coins of Yodhaya, the ancient Bodhanaka region, this is with a reference to the excavation at a site called Khokra Kot in Rohtak district, elephant and bull motifs can also be seen. Audumbaras, the elephant and bull motif was a popular imagery on coins of ancient India, and we find it prominently depicted on the coins of the Audumbaras, a prominent ancient tribal nation that flourished from the 2nd century BCE to the 1st century CE, inhabiting the foothills of western Himalayas and covering large territory in modern-day Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. The elephant and bull motif is also seen on the coins of Vemakas, another Indian tribal republic dominating the Punjab area and contemporary to the Audumbaras, late 2nd century BCE to 1st century CE. The Satvahana dynasty was an ancient Indian royal house that ruled the Deccan Plateau region, primarily modern-day Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Maharashtra, from the late 2nd century BCE to the early 3rd century CE. Elephant figures prominently on their coins. Only a few representative pieces are presented here. It may be noted that unlike the silver coins, which generally have the portraits of the king, all elephant type coins are made of copper and potin, thereby indicating that these were intended as the currency of the masses, and the symbology of elephant was specifically selected for that purpose. So this is the Nasik type where elephant is seen. Vidarbha type, on the lower you get the king's name Sri Satkarni in Brahmi script. This is the Nivasa type on the top, and the Kara type, Vasishti Putra Sri Pulumavi. The reverse has what is the numismatics call it as the Ujjain symbol, 4 balls connected with the line. Gautami Putra Satkarni and Shivasri Pulamavi. Similar type with the Ujjain symbol on the reverse and elephant on the overs. The Maharathis were a powerful ancient ruling dynasty who governed the Belgaum, North Karnataka region between the 2nd century BCE and 1st century CE, preceding and overlapping with the early Satavahanas. They were also closely related with the Satavahanas through matrimonial alliances. A mighty elephant appears on the lead coins of one of its rulers, Sivakapana. This is interesting. In fact, there was a dynasty called the Hathi dynasty. And the Hathi Maharathi, the legend on the coin on the top, reads Maharathi Siva Mahahatisa. So the Hathi Maharathis were an ancient ruling family or a clan acting as a feudatories during the Satavahana era, located in the Rayalaseema and upper Krishna Valley region of Andhra Pradesh. Their existence and history are primarily known through the rare lead, potin, and bronze coins discovered first unearthed during the archaeological excavation at Veerapuram, which is a site in the Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. The Western Kshatraps were ancient Indo-Scythian or the Shaka rulers. They governed parts of the western and central India from 35 to 415 CE over an area that covered modern-day Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Sindh. While the silver coins of the Western Kshatrapa rulers usually have the portrait of the ruler on the obverse and 3-arched hill, Chaitya, on the reverse, elephant appears on some of their rare low-denomination coins, again symbolizing their use as the currency of the masses. A large number of kings bearing Mitra or Datta ending names such as Agni Mitra, Arya Mitra, Brihaspati Mitra, Jeshta Mitra, Ram Datta, Bhav Datta, etc. are known from their coins. These coins are found in Mathura, Panchala, Kaushambi, and Ayodhya region and date from 2nd century BCE to 1st century CE. The image of elephant prominently appear on these coins. The Gupta Empire, which existed from the mid-3rd century to mid-6th century CE, is often referred to as the Golden Age of India due to its remarkable advancement in culture, science, and political stability. Their coins, especially the gold ones, are remarkable for their artistic beauty and ornate Sanskrit inscriptions. I would like to illustrate just 2 coins of one of their greatest rulers, Kumaragupta I, who reigned from about 415 to 455 CE, on which the majestic elephants can be seen. On the overs of the coin on the top, the king is shown with a muscular body riding a caparisoned elephant. King's head shows curly hairs, wearing a pearl necklace, armlets, and bristles. There's an attendant seated on the back, and the Sanskrit legend in Brahmi script is starting behind the attendant's head reads, Kshataripu Kumaragupto Rajatrata Jayati. Kumaragupta, who has destroyed his enemies and protects feudatory kings, is victorious over his foes. The reverse shows Goddess Lakshmi standing on a lotus flower and birds. The legend reads Shri Mahendra Gaj, the elephant of King Mahendra. King Mahendra was the title of Kumargupta. So here for the first time, the nomenclature of elephant you will find on the coins. That it's a Mahendra Gaj, the royal elephant. A similar legend is found on the another very rare type of coin of Kumargupta, which you can see in the lower part of the screen. Here the legend reads as Singh Nihanta Mahendra Gaj, or the elephant of the king Mahendra as lion slayer, and he's trampling upon a lion under its feet. As you can see that the king is shown riding a royal elephant with an attendant, where the elephant tramples a lion beneath its feet. Very, very interesting. The Sangam age was a golden era in South Indian history, spanning roughly from 300 BCE to 300 CE. It is defined by three major ruling dynasties, the Cheras, Cholas, and the Pandyas. The Cheras ruled modern Kerala and western Tamil Nadu from their capital Vanchi, identified with modern-day Karur. Elephant appears on their copper coins together with many ancillary symbols like Srivatsa, a wheel, a flagpost, and branches of trees. The river shows a bow and arrow with an elephant goad and a coiling snake. This is Chola. Reverse is a lion. And the Pandyas. Western Ganga was an important ruling dynasty of ancient Karnataka in India, which lasted from about 350 to 1004 CE. The coin on the top is generally called Padmatanka with a repose technique. It is struck with a repose technique. It features 5 elephants. You can see and count them. The lower coin is a gold pagoda showing an ornamental elephant on the obverse and an ornamental scroll on the reverse. I'm going a bit fast because I've got a lot to cover. Coming to the medieval India, that is from 8th, 9th century CE onwards, we find that the depiction of elephant on the coins was continued by a number of dynasties across India. These included the Hindu Shahis of Ohind, which ruled Kabul, Gandhara, and the Punjab region between 822 and 1026 CE. So here the name of the king appears here in Nagari called Vakkadeva over the elephant. A Muslim dynasty called Lovik or Anuk ruled around Ghazni and Gardez in modern-day Afghanistan from approximately 750 to 977 CE. They had close cultural and political ties with the Hindu Shahis that you've just seen. Their coins, the device was derived from the Hindu Shahi copper coins of elephant and lion type. So what is interesting is in the body of the elephant, you will find the Arabic word adal. Now, adal literally means justice, but it was also used as a countermark. As late as during the Mughal period, like Adal Kabul, it was counterstruck with this coin. So invariably, in the body of the elephant, you will find this word Adal. This very interesting. The Solanki dynasty, also known as the Chalukya dynasty, ruled parts of Gujarat and Rajasthan from 940 to 1244 CE, with their capital at Anhilpatak, modern Patan. Another coin which does not have a king's name, but here only the title. The title is Ranhasti, or the war elephant, is ascribed to some feudatory king of the Solanki dynasty. So here, again, the legend is in Devanagari, Proto-Devanagari, I would say, and Hasti you can read here. So Sri Ran Hasti is the title. The Vaghela dynasty ruled the ruled Gujarat in the 13th century with their capital at Dholka. They were the last dynasty to rule Gujarat before the Muslim conquest, and these are the two kings, Karan Dev and Sarang Dev, their coins bearing elephant. The Kalajuris were the vassals of Chalukya dynasty, and several branches of this dynasty ruled over western and central India. One of the branches had their capital at Maheshmati, now Maheshwar in Madhya Pradesh. The coin of Buddha Raja Dev, elephant walking left, ridden by Mahawat and a king. Bull Nandi seated left, Brahmi legend over Buddha Raja Dev. This is also very interesting. Another branch of Kalachuris ruled from Ratanpur near Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh. A gold coin of this king, one of its kings, Prithvidev, has a very crude depiction of a lion attacking an elephant. So here, very faintly, you can see the head of the elephant here, and is being attacked by a lion on the back. Very, very crude. It is a very small size gold coin. But this motif is, you will find prominently in the temple sculptures. And I've taken these two from the Bateshwar group of temples in Morena. So the conflict between the lion and elephant is something which, for the first time, it is depicted here on the coin. The Kalachuris of Kalyani ruled part of Karnataka and Maharashtra with their capital at Kalyani, which is identified with Basav Kalyana, a historical city in the Bidar district of Karnataka. An unusual copper coin of this king Soi Deva, that's the legend here in Nagari, or Surya Dev, shows an elephant with a rider. During the 14th century, a powerful Hindu empire was established in South India by two brothers, Harihar I and Bukkarai I of the Sangam dynasty. Its capital was Vijayanagar, modern-day Hampi in Karnataka. This kingdom was successively ruled by four dynasties, namely the Sangam dynasty, the Saluva dynasty, Taluva dynasty, and Aravidu dynasty. While the most of the coins of the rulers of Vijayanagar Empire bears the Hindu god and goddesses, elephant appears for the first time on certain copper coins issued during the reign of Devaraya I, the sixth ruler of the Sangam dynasty. These coins bear the name of Nagannad Dananayaka, who was a viceroy of Mulbagal, a town now in the Kolar district of Karnataka. Coins of Devaraya II, another ruler of Sangam dynasty of Vijayanagar Empire, shows a variety of elephants. The legend on the reverse is in Devanagari. The king Devaraya II also adopted the title Gajventakara, which literally means hunter of elephants, and can be seen on the reverse of the top left coins here. This one. This honorific is sometimes interpreted as the king's addiction to hunting elephants, but I think that is a metaphor referring to Devaraya's victory against the Gajapati rulers of Odisha, who were lord of the elephants, or the Gajapatis. He also adopted another title, Raya Gandbhairund, which can be seen on the reverse of the remaining three coins. This one, and this one. The top right shows an elephant with a warrior running in front, here. Another one, elephant holding a sword in its trunk. Third one, a simple elephant with. The coin of this ruler definitely vouched for his love for elephants. A few words about the legend Gandbhairunda. It's a two-headed mythological bird of Hindu mythology, thought to possess magical strength. The bird is generally depicted as clutching elephants in its talons and beaks, demonstrating its immense strength. Achyuta Devaraya was the elder brother of Krishna Devaraya, who was the greatest ruler of the Tuluvas dynasty and whose reign marked the golden age of Vijayanagara. On his coins, the elephants are depicted as part of the Gand Bhairundi motif. So you can see here the bird with elephant here also. The last dynasty of Vijayanagara Empire was the Aravidu dynasty founded by Ramaraya, who was the son-in-law of the king Emperor Krishna Devaraya. On his coins, we find a unique depiction of Vrishabhakunjara or bull elephant motif that one finds in many sculptures across Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This optical illusion motif symbolizes the harmony of and underlying oneness between Hindu traditions, especially the Shaivism represented by the bull and the Vaishnavism represented by the elephant. The Nayaka rulers of Tanjavur started as the provincial governors under the Vijayanagara Empire before becoming independent monarchs. Lord Ganesh and Gajalakshmi appear on their coins. So here you can see Ganesh sitting, facing in front, and the Gajalakshmi motif here. So two elephants and the deity in middle. This is a very strange coin where a man is shown fighting the elephant. The legend on the reverse has not been read and appears to be in a crude script somewhat resembling Nagari, but only the third letter looks like Ra. Stylistically, it is attributed to some feudatory ruler of Vijayanagara Empire. With the weakening of the Vijayanagara Empire, one of its vassals, the Vodayars, established their independent rule in Mysore. Their copper coins prominently depict the figure of elephant. Ganpati appears once again on the coins of the Vodayars. Elephant prominently appear on the coins of Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan, who succeeded the Vodayars. A series of gold phonemics attributed to Hyder Ali and depicting various forms of elephants appear in the coin market in the 1970s and soon found their way in many museums and private collections across the globe. All the four different type of coins that you see on the top. Much later, they were all turned out to be fakes. The only coin of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan showing an elephant are the copper ones, which you can see at the top. And the mint name is given as Patan. The beautiful coins of Tipu depict a procession elephant, which is also called Dhalgaj in Marathi. This elephant is usually shown with a standard. Unlike the Ranhasti or the war elephant or battle elephant, this never took part in the battle as such, but it was only a procession elephant and shown with a banner. Some more coins of Tipu Sultan. Interestingly, Tipu started a new era for dating his coins. All other Muslim rulers dated the coins in Hijri era, but he said that I'll start an era which is reckoned from the birth of Prophet Muhammad, Mauludi. Maulud means the birth. So the Mauludi era started, and if I can just go back, yeah. Here the numerals are there, and Mauludi Muhammad, it is written here. The copper coins with an elephant and the Persian letter N, Noon, in all probability was struck by local Nawabs or vassals of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan in the late 18th century. After defeating and killing Tipu Sultan in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, 1799, the British restored the Vodayar dynasty and installed the 5-year-old Krishna Raja as the Maharaja of Mysore. After coming of age and assuming the reins of administration in his hand in 1810, Krishna Raja revived the old Vodayar tradition of depicting elephants on his coins, and an impressive variety of elephants can be seen on his copper coins. This tradition continued till he was deposed by the British in 1831. Now this is a quiz. Can you find an elephant? An independent ruler, Sikandar Shah, who was a contemporary of Akbar, ruled over Arakan, now Rakhine state in Myanmar. On this unique triangular silver coin bearing legend in Arakanese on the overs, Arabic and Bengali on the reverse, Sikandar Shah identifies himself as Dhawalabahu Gajeshwara, or the Lord of many white elephants. And in Persian, it's written here, Sahibul Fil, the Lord of the elephants. Many princely states also issued coins depicting elephants, these including the Gaikwads of Baroda. Here again, examples of Dhalagaj could be seen with royal standards to left and to right respectively. The Nagari legend Sa and Ga are the abbreviation of Sayaji Rao Gaikwad. Another Dhalgaj on the coins of the Sindhiyas. Travancore was a princely state that lasted from 1729 to 1949. Elephants appeared on its coat of arms as well as on its coins. Like Travancore, the princely state of Kuch Bihar also has elephants as part of its coat of arms as well as its coins. The legend in Bangla on the overs bears the name of the king Sri Jagadipendra Narayan, Bhoop. Before I move to the last part of this presentation, let me share an interesting story. On the occasion of the accession of King Emperor George V to the throne in 1911, special commemorative coins bearing the king's profile portrait in full regalia was struck at the Bombay and Calcutta mints. The royal robe on the king included a collar adorned with the Indian elephant. However, a serious design flaw appeared. The die cutter gave the elephant a short snout, thick legs, and a short tail, causing it look uncannily like a pig. As a result, the Muslim population of India was enraged. The British government, perhaps mindful of 1857 revolt, decided to withdraw the coin and altered the dies to show the more anatomically correct elephant from 1912 onwards. So this is the corrected one, and this is the earlier one. And these are still very prized possessions of the coin collectors called the pig rupees. Elephant appeared on the coins of the independent India in the guise of Bholu, the guard. The occasion was 150th anniversary of railways in India. Elephant also appeared on the 10 rupee banknote from Mahatma Gandhi series featuring a tiger, elephant, and a rhinoceros, all of which are associated with Indian fauna. From coins and banknotes, we now move to metallic coinoids or exonomia pieces, which include religious tokens. The Gajalakshmi motif is very common both in Hindu and Buddhist iconography, and is still the most auspicious motif appearing on the religious tokens which are widely sold during Diwali. And from religious tokens to business tokens, Indo-Burma and Ceylon Automatic Machine Company, Awadh and Royal Railway, free pass. So elephants could give you a free ride also. From coins to amulets, from business tokens, elephants travel to the charms and amulet or taviz. This one shows elephant walking towards left, Mahawat, and a thrown on the top. The reverse legend has not been read successfully, but it looks like a passage or a quotation from Ramcharitmanas. This is a numero astro yantra. You can read the legend Sri Rahave Nama, to ward of the evil eye of Rahu. Finally, we come to the medals. This is the Delhi Darbar medal showing on the overs the conjoined busts of George V and Mary. The reverse has the 1911 around a crown in the center and Delhi below. But around the edge is a wonderful collage of plants and animals with elephant head on the top here. This is a military medal on the occasion of the First Anglo-Burmese War, and the legend here, I mean, you can see a crouching elephant and a roaring lion facing it. And the legend in Persian, File Awa Mutiye Sher Angrez, the elephant of Awa, that's Burmese kingdom, is subordinated of the British lion. And on the reverse, you can see the Burmese pagoda over here and the army. And the legend here says, Nishan-e Zafar Asakir Angrez Bar Awa. This is the victory medal of the British on the occasion of the victory over Awa. So elephant as a sign of Burmese sovereignty, kneeling before British imperial lion. That's what it depicts. A beautiful, one of the most beautiful medals that I have encountered is issued by the Calcutta Zoological Garden, which was inaugurated in 1886. And the legend in Persian reads, Calcutta Haywanat Bagh, which is Calcutta Zoological Garden. I would like to conclude with this beautiful medal, which in a sense represents the confluence of East and the West. The East India Company founded the East India College in Hertford Castle in England in 1806. In 1809, the college moved to the nearby Haileybury estate and changed its name to Haileybury College. During its 50-year career, the college trained more than 2,000 clerks for service in India, closing in January 1858. In about 1808, the Haileybury College instituted a Sanskrit Prize medal, which was to be awarded to the proficiency in Sanskrit. It was designed by C.H. Kushler and was struck in Soho Mint in London between 1808 and 1811. It is known to exist in gold, bronze, and white metal. The overs of the coin shows a hybridized representation of Saraswati, the goddess of learning, wearing Greek-style dress and elephant headdress, is standing writing on cloth pedestal, long-stemmed lotus flower right, and her lute or the veena resting on the left, and Engraver's initial K below the flower. On the reverse, the Sanskrit words Sri Vidyavara, or the learned one, is in the center, surrounded by Sanskrit inscription, Tat Sukham Satvikam Prokmat Buddhi Prasadajam. It means knowledge obtained through one's own intellect and reason brings forth a most contented happiness. This inscription is in Anushtup Chanda and was composed by Charles Wilkins, an English Pandit of Sanskrit. We have thus seen that the coins depicting elephants were issued across India, Greece, Egypt, Seleucid Empire, Bactria, Carthage, Rome, and several other medieval Indian dynasties and pre-modern regional powers in India. Coins covering a period of over 2,600 years from the early Indian punchmark coins to the British Indian government represent elephant motif symbolizing power, divinity, military strength. From coins, the Indian elephants marched onto the para-numismatics or exonomia that included religious and business tokens, charms and amulets and commemorative medals. In modern times, elephants, either Asian or African, also appear on the coins, medals, and tokens and banknotes of several Asian countries such as Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, and China. A large number of African countries, including Algeria, Benin, Congo, Gabon, Guinea, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Somalia, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Some of the European countries like Austria, Denmark, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and the United Kingdom, and even a small nation like Cook Islands in the South Pacific Ocean. On this World Elephant Day, I pay my tribute to the majestic Indian elephant, whose zoological name itself is Elephas maximus, or the greatest elephant. I also compliment the INTACH for launching the project Gajalok, a transnational culture-nature initiative to explore the cultural, historical, ecological, and climate resilience connections between the Asian elephants and human societies across Asia. Thank you very much.
We have a short question answer session in case any one of you have questions.
So thank you for a very, very informative talk. I'm terribly sorry I missed a part of it. But can you tell us more about how the elephant cavalry worked, which was a very unique phenomena of our ancient armies?
Well, I am not an expert on the military history, but the only reference that we get is again takes us back to the battle between Alexander and Porus, and it has come into the lexicon of the popular sayings like Porus ke Hati. The idea was that in the front row, Porus had had a trail of elephants to ward off the attack by the cavalry, the Greek cavalry. And it so happened that when the cavalry started shooting their arrows and they hit the elephants, they started marching backwards, trampling their own army. So it becomes that you have something which is causing a self-goal. So that is the reference that we get again from the Western accounts. No Indian account mentions the battle between Alexander and Porus. Beyond that, elephants were used most as a transport animals to carry the large cannons and other things. I mean, that the reference we get from the Mughal histories and the later medieval histories. So, and apart from the battles, they were also used for the construction of like carry the heavy stones for large constructions like the forts and other such buildings. So these were some of the uses of elephants that we know from the historical accounts.
Thank you.
Thank you for a fascinating slideshow. I have 3 comments or questions. The first one concerns representation of Alexander, right? Now you said Alexander's father in the coin was Zeus, but Alexander's father was Philip of Macedon. So I wanted to know whether that coin is a coin or is just a representation of Alexander with Nike on top.
Can I respond to you one by one? Because
no, this is one question. Very simple.
Let me respond to this one.
Yeah, sure.
Zeus is a mythological figure. Alexander claims...
I know who Zeus was,
yes.
But what I'm saying is when you have that kind of representation of You said he was the son of Zeus, but of course he was the son of Philip of Macedon.
He was
Then-
biological son of Philips, but
And,
he claimed his divinity from the king of gods, that's
Correct.
Zeus.
Correct, and so did lots of rulers.
There's a difference
yeah.
between biological and non-biological.
Yeah, so that's the question I want to come to, which is the second question I want to. There is a difference between the biological and the non-biological, but also a difference between the mythologies that surround a coin, and you said you were interested in literature, and the what is represented on the coin. I want to ask you a specific question about Ganesh and the lack of representation of Ganesh. In lot of the representations of Ganesh, you always have the tusk, which is broken to symbolize many things. Now, in these representations, often you do not have the tusk at all. You certainly don't have that. And lastly, I want to say, most importantly, that when we look at coin representations, we want to see that a great big elephant is domesticated and monetized on a coin. So if you think of the future of the coin, do you think that numismatics, you won't have coins? How do you foresee the future of representation of a pachyderm like the elephant?
Okay. Now, I'm not sure whether you looked closely enough on the representation. There were only two coins which had Ganesha depicted. But iconographically, these were the same people who used to, carve out the sculptures. So they were. It's presumed that they were well aware about the iconographic features of Ganesha's icon. So I'm not sure whether one tooth was broken or not. You can have a relook on that. The other thing about the future is either the banknotes, where I listed out a number of countries, more than 20 countries, which are having elephants depicted on their banknotes. And these includes the paper currency as well as the polymer currency, which is now being introduced in India from maybe the next year or so. Yeah, so maybe on digital currency you'll find something, depends upon the state. It's a state monopoly, that what they want to convey to the masses.
We'll take just one last question because we are already running late. And do keep your question short and no observations, please.
Okay. Thank you for the lecture, sir. I wanted to ask that the symbolism of elephants and coins, all over India, do we see a similarity in what the elephants symbolize for these dynasties, or are there differences when we move from east to west or north to south? Thank you.
In different period, like the emphasis was shifted. For example, if you see the earlier coins that you saw, Alexander's and the Ptolemies and the Greek and the Romans, Julius Caesar, for example, they, or for that matter, the Greco-Bactrian, the Demetrius and all. So they showed their like a victory over the East. So India was represented by the elephant. The East was, the elephant became the symbol of the East. So when they showed either elephant in its full figure or elephant as a part of the headdress, so they showed that they are the mastery over the East. So that was the earlier depiction. But also it depicted the wisdom, the power, the strength, the divinity. So there several contexts are there. So we'll have to see that, what context and what period we are talking about. I mean, the victory of the East obviously doesn't make sense for the Indian dynasties, for example. So their motive of including elephant on their coins were altogether different.
Thank you, sir. The antiquity of the man and elephant relationship has been very, very clearly established by this presentation. And in fact, it appears that the elephant is quite an ubiquitous animal in all facets of culture in India and across Asia. May I request Chairman INTACH to please hand over a small token of our appreciation to Sir. You have the correct side up, no? Take it. All the HODs, INTACHians, please come to stage for a group photograph. This is a Nirupama, come. Anita, ma'am. Come. And Bindu, come. Who else is there? Kirti, you also come. Come quickly.
A Minute with Mary speaks of the title of Our Lady of Help, which will also be celebrated on August 15th. This Marian title originated in Portugal because many soldiers and sailors honored Our Lady of Piliepioide, asking for her help even. Therefore, it became known as Our Lady of Help. Several Portuguese ships were placed under the protection of Lady of Help. Thus, in Lisbon, in a small hermitage, an image of Our Lady began to be considered miraculous. Zanda. Several events occurred in 1549.